Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education, we would like to thank you for being in attendance, both virtually and in person, for tonight's board meeting. At this time, we would like to reconvene the meeting of Community Unit School District 300's Board of Education for Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Settler,
Aye. Present.
Melia,
Present.
Kinde present, Lindmark,
Present.
Lamarcker, Fiorentino,
Present.
Burkett.
Present.
You have 7 board members present.
Up next is the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Smith.
At this time, I'd like to invite Principal Tom Rusniak from Gilbert's Elementary School and his students to lead us in the pledge. Welcome. Parents, please come forward to take pictures, videos.
Good evening. I would like to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Smith, D300 administration, staff, and the community for having us this evening. If I have not had a chance to meet you, my name is Tom Rusnak. I'm the principal of Gilbert's Elementary School. Tonight, I'm pleased to recognize some of our outstanding students. For the past 4 years, our 5th grade students have participated in our Grizzlies Give Back program. This program plays a vital role in helping our students grow academically while also building leadership skills and understanding the importance of contributing to their community. Currently, our students are running a cereal food drive within our school. All donations will be given to the D300 Food Pantry. Students also placed American flags in front of the school for Veterans Day to show their support and help our student body understand that importance. Our 5th grade students also took time to write letters to the Gilbert's Police Department for September 11th. This service brought so much joy to the amazing police department in our town. Additionally, the 5th grade students donated their Halloween candy to make a little treat bag for all the teachers within the school. I can personally attest that they gave the very best candy. The students before you, as well as other 5th graders, continue to demonstrate value and a commitment to service in our community. They are learning how small and large acts of kindness can go a long way. They are leaders and are consistently showing their peers how to live the Grizzly way. They demonstrate leadership within the classroom and have been identified by their teachers as someone who truly helps support the positive culture in our building. We're very excited to see what they do in their future. Students, when I call your name, please raise your hand and wave. Olivia Aiello, Wesley Billiard, Hudson Fisher, Zoe Jasso, Isha Umer. At this time, if everyone can please rise as you are able and join our Gilbert students in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, parents, for bringing your kids here and for all the great things they're doing in school. You do not have to stay for the rest of our meeting if you do not want to. Up next is item 5, approval of the agenda. There has been a change to the agenda. Item 16, the second closed session, has been removed. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved. Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Melia,
Aye.
Settler,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
Lamarcker,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
McKinney, aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Item 6, moment of silence. Dr. Smith?
Members of the Board of Education, community members, staff, and students, tonight we would like to solemnly recognize the passing of a District 300 student. District 300 would like to honor Nicholas Wagner, a Hampshire Middle School student who passed away on November 28th. Nicholas will be forever missed, and District 300 would like to offer condolences to his family, friends, and the Hampshire Middle School community. At this time, I ask all in attendance to observe a moment of silence in honor of Nicholas. I would also like to honor the memory of Randy Bruce, a Sleepy Hollow Elementary School teacher who passed away on December 6th. Randy will be deeply missed, and District 300 would like to offer our sincere condolences to his family, friends, and the Sleepy Hollow School community. At this time, I ask all in attendance to observe a moment of silence in honor of Randy. Thank you.
Item 7, recognition. Dr. Smith?
For tonight's student recognition, I'd like to welcome Thomas Parisi, Director of PE, Health, Drivers Education, and Athletics, to the podium. He will introduce the IHSA state qualifiers for high school fall sports.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Smith, and community members. Athletics plays a vital role in District 300's strategic plan goal to develop the whole child. Through sports, athletes learn the values of teamwork, leadership, resilience, and accountability. These lessons stay with our students their entire lives. Achieving state qualification is no small feat. It is a result of relentless effort, discipline, and a passion for excellence. Today, we celebrate our outstanding athletes and coaches who have risen to the challenge, representing all 3 of our high schools and communities at the highest level. Our recognition will start tonight with our district co-op swim team coached by Rebecca Olson.
Hello, thank you for allowing us to celebrate the incredible accomplishments our team has had this season. The varsity swim team had a strong season, winning multiple invites and being undefeated in dual meets. Rachel Johnson broke several school board records throughout the season, 2 at Buffalo Grove and 1 at Stevenson High School. At the Fox Valley Conference meet, the varsity team was led by Ellie Nemi, where she was voted as one of 2 MVPs for the season for winning 2 individual varsity events. Our varsity squad came in 2nd place overall at sectionals, where they had 13 top 6 finishes. At the preliminaries for our state meet, our medley relay of Rachel, Caitlin Tomaszewski, Ellie, Anastasia Komarova placed 18th. Anastasia placed 38th in her 50 freestyle. Ellie placed 23rd in her 100 freestyle and 42nd in her 100 backstroke. And our 400 freestyle relay of Tessa Iverson, Olivia Berchinski, Ellie, and Rachel placed 19th. Our season concluded with Rachel qualifying for finals the following day at state, where she placed 5th in the 200 individual medley and 3rd in the 100 backstroke. With her time in the 100 back, Rachel has secured a record of top 20 fastest times for the event in IHSA history. She is also the first girl from Jacobs to be listed as a finalist by IHSA. This group of girls has been nothing short of a great group of young athletes to coach. I and my coaching staff are excited to continue to have amazing accomplishments next year with our underclassmen and wish our senior Caitlin the best of luck in college. Thank you.
Well done. Congratulations. Well done.
Dundee Crown High School found state-level success in cross-country. I would like to introduce Matt McCoskey, the coach of Dundee Crown's boys cross country team.
Hello, community members, Board of Education, Superintendent Smith. I'm Matt Michalski, the head coach for DC's cross-country program. Thank you for allowing us to celebrate all the incredible accomplishments our team had this season, with a special emphasis on Logan Gray. I'm very proud to introduce Logan. This past season, he earned all-conference, was a sectional and state qualifier at the IHSA state cross-country meet. Last week, the Northwest Herald named him to the all-area cross-country team as well. At the state meet, he ran the fastest 3-mile time from the Fox Valley Conference, as well as running the second fastest 3-mile time in the history of Denny Crown. He is a kind, thoughtful, and extremely dedicated young man who leads by example. It's my honor to introduce and celebrate his achievements this evening. Thank you, Logan.
Our next recognition is Hampshire High School's boys golf, which had state qualifiers. I would like to introduce Jeremy Bauer, Hampshire boys golf coach.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Bauer, head coach of golf at Hampshire High School. I'd like to thank the Board of Education and Dr. Smith for recognizing all the athletes here tonight. These students have spent countless hours practicing on the course, on the courts, or in the pool. They've had the challenge of balancing schoolwork and being a student athlete and being a teenager. I'm here tonight to talk about Hampshire golfer Nolan Adamczyk. Nolan was a 4-year varsity golfer and has contributed to some of the most successful seasons in team history. This year, Nolan was an all-conference golfer, qualified for sectionals, qualified for state, and played some of his best golf at the state tournament. Day one, he shot a very impressive 2 under 70, and on day 2, he shot a nice 3 over 75. This put him 1 over for 2 days and put him tied for 8th place, earning him an all-conference or all-state distinction. Nolan plans on continuing his golf career at the collegiate level. Please help me congratulate Nolan on his fantastic finish to his amazing high school golf career.
Next from Hampshire is our girls tennis coach, Tyler Belting.
Hampshire High School senior Isabella Kowalik. She only played 2 years of high school tennis, but she definitely made those 2 years count. Isabella was a 2-time all-conference and all-area selection. She finished her senior season with a dominant run through the Fox Valley Conference tournament to be crowned conference champion at one singles. That performance earned her the #1 seed at the Guilford Sectional, where she, for the 2nd consecutive year, qualified for the IHSA state meet. We are proud of Isabella for being a great athlete and a wonderful teammate in person, and we look forward to what the future holds.
Finally, Jacobs had state qualifiers in both golf and cross country. It's my pleasure to first introduce Gary Conrad, Jacobs boys golf coach.
Hello, everyone. All right, hello, my name is Gary Conrad. I'm honored to be here tonight to recognize Logan Henning for his accomplishments this past season. Logan is more than an accomplished golfer, but also a model student athlete. His pursuit of excellence is noticed by the coaching staff, his teammates, and the staff here at Jacobs High School. His countless hours practicing at the golf course, competing over the summer at tournaments, and keeping up with advanced academic responsibilities is not an easy task. Tonight, I would like to highlight some of Logan's achievements this season. Logan was our Fox Valley Conference Player of the Year, scoring the most conference points in the conference out of everyone. He qualified for the sectional tournament, placing 6th individually, punching his ticket downstate. He played well at the state championship, making the second day and placing 28th overall. Logan demonstrated leadership all season, modeling the behaviors the coaching staff strives for in their athletes. We are excited to see what the future may bring for Logan. Thank you.
And last but not least, I would like to introduce Kevin Christian, Jacobs girls cross country coach.
All right, the Jacobs girls cross country team earned a state trip this year by finishing 6th place at the extremely competitive Hoffman State Sectional. The girls outperformed their seed at the state meet, finishing in 19th place in the largest school division in the state. They were led by all-state freshman runner Lennox Simonik, who finished in 10th place. The 3 seniors, Mackenzie Cronin, Matilda Masiechek, and Riley Warzak, all improved dramatically each season, leading them to qualify their senior year with the team. Cronin would have qualified individually if the team had not qualified. Underclassmen Danny Soto, Julia Felton, and Jamie Lakeman all ran their best times at the state meet by anywhere from 14 to 46 seconds. The girls have now qualified 3 of the last 5 seasons and look forward to continuing this trend in the future.
For tonight's staff recognition, we will be celebrating 2 groups. On December 2nd, District 300 celebrated National Special Education Day, which provided an opportunity to recognize our outstanding education services team under Mrs. Shelley Nackey. These educators and support staff ensure that every student receives the support they need to learn, grow, and thrive. Through their compassion and advocacy, they help create a more inclusive and supportive learning environment for all. On behalf of District 300, thank you, Education Services team. December 8th through 14th, District 300 celebrated Computer Science Education Week, a nationwide observance that encourages students to explore the world of computer science. This observance provides an opportunity to highlight the incredible work of our technology department, academic data team, and educational technology staff. These professionals play a crucial role in supporting student learning, maintaining and securing vital systems, and ensuring our schools have the tools needed for success in an increasingly digital world. On behalf of District 300, thank you to these hardworking professionals for their dedication and expertise.
Dear District 300 community members, all community unit school District 300 board meetings follow rules of decorum that promote civil, productive discussions by requiring all in attendance to remain in their seats, be respectful, listen attentively, stay focused on the agenda, and avoid personal attacks or interruptions. These rules ensure a fair and orderly environment for decision-making and public participation. Board members will respect others by treating all members, staff, and the public with courtesy and listen to their points of view with an open mind. Stay on topic by focusing discussions on the issues at hand and avoid personalizing debates or making disparaging remarks about others. Follow procedures for speaking and debating during the meeting. The board will listen and be respectful and will consider public comments but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. The public will sign up to speak in advance if they wish to comment according to the established process. Respect time limits by making their comments within the allotted time. Stay on topic to ensure their comments are relevant to the board's business. Speak respectfully when expressing their opinions and do so in a professional manner. Persons displaying disruptive behavior will be asked to stop their disruptive behavior. Additionally, our district safety officer or his agent may warn them that continued disruptive behavior will result in additional consequences. If the disruptive behavior continues, the individual or individuals will be removed from the meeting. We look forward to a productive meeting. Thank you for your cooperation. Up next is public participation. Please note that the Opens Meeting Act provides any person the opportunity to address the board under the adopted public participation policy. That being said, the board would like to advise the public that we will not consider statements read during public participation that are not authored by the reader to be credible unless the board has previously received a statement in writing from the author. Additionally, the author should indicate that he or she has granted the public participant the authority to read the statement on his or her behalf. We have had one person sign up for public participation. I will call each of you individually up to the podium. Please state your name and relationship to the district and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please note the following. Each speaker has been provided with the guidelines for public participation. Minors need to be accompanied by their parents or guardians. The board will consider your comments but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Questions raised may be assigned to the superintendent for an answer. As appropriate, a member of the administration may reach out to the speaker to give them relevant information or ask for additional information. This is done to make sure the board has all the information needed to properly address the speaker's concerns. Charges, complaints, or challenges against staff members of the district will not be heard in open meetings and should be made in writing to the board and superintendent. We also ask that speakers refrain from personally attacking district staff or members of the board. Pursuant to board policy, this evening's participants must limit their comments to 3 minutes. We ask each participant to be respectful to all individuals who have signed up to speak and adhere to the allotted time limit. We also ask that speakers conduct themselves in a civil and courteous manner and refrain from trying to engage members of the board in dialogue during public participation. Failure to abide by board time rules or those found out of order by the board may lead to exclusion from the meeting to be fair to all participants. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. Our first speaker tonight is Karen Narani.
Good evening. My name is Karen Narani. I am a retired educator with well over 4 decades of experience working with students, kindergarten through 12th grade. I'm a resident of Carpentersville, and I am a District 300 taxpayer. I'm here to express my concern that District 300 is not acting on the opportunity to work with community organizations to help your students and their families navigate successfully through what they are seeing and experience due to ICE and other overtly militarized activities occurring in our communities. This past fall, I was present at a meeting organized by State Representative Suzanne Ness to bring the Village of Carpentersville, District 300 members, and community organizations together. The clear message that everybody agreed upon was that there was a need to work together to ensure that the families that we all work with, both their perception and the actuality, that they would be feeling and be as safe as possible. Since then, District 300 has been polite but not responsive. So I have come this evening to ask some of the questions that have not, been had any other place to be asked. Do your teachers have access to information and materials that will help them support their students being impacted by current events? Are they able to share with each other their concerns and what to do with students to help them? Have you sat down with families in the schools most impacted by the current administration's ability to spread fear in our communities to find out what their concerns are, what the issues are that their students are facing, and to ask how best the school can help those students so that they can focus on learning when they are in school? I know your intentions are good, but do you really know from the families that you're meeting their needs? Does each school have a direct line of communication to know when ICE or other military level activity is happening in or around one of your schools, either during school or when students are about to be let out and walk home? Does the administration and the office staff know what to do if somebody calls them and gives them this information? Do they have effective responses for this? These are some of the questions that I and many others, including those that were at that meeting in the fall, are still waiting to find out. I am here because I care about my community, about my country, and about children who are our future. I'm sorry. I know that you care as well. I was a student during the 60s when there was a lot of upheaval in this country. My children were students during 9/11. Again, another inflection point in this country. And now we are at another critical moment in our history. What worked then and what needs to happen now is that our schools need to work with the other community groups. We need to build relationships. No school or organization is an island. We need to work together. We need to build relationships so that we can make sure that our students and our communities can successfully navigate this.
Thank you. Item 9, public hearing for the 2025 tax levy. Is there a motion to open the public hearing for the 2025 tax levy?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Akinde, aye. Lamarcus.
Aye.
Lindmark.
Aye.
Melia.
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Dr. Frank Williams will provide a brief overview of the proposed 2025 tax levy.
All right. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Smith, fellow administrators, and members of the public. Tonight, during this hearing, I will walk through the final version of the tax year 25 levy, which I previously explained in detail on November 10th at the operations meeting and November 16th board meeting. I do want to note that the district is not technically required to hold a hearing this year because our levy does not exceed 5% over last year's extension. A hearing only becomes mandatory when the district exceeds 5% of last year's extension. That would then require a truth of taxation hearing. However, because we did not, we're not required to hold a hearing, but we want to, because in all honesty to our taxpayers, they deserve to have that transparency. One requirement of the levy hearing is to show the district's fund balances and cash balance. This slide reflects those numbers as of October 31st. Our district operates on a modified accrual basis of accounting, which means the fund balance includes expenses that have been incurred but not yet paid. The cash balance, on the other hand, is simply the amount of cash and investments we physically have on that specific day. Because fund balances include outstanding and accrued expenses, it should always appear lower than our cash balance, and that difference is always expected. We are now at the final step of the tax levy process. In November, we reviewed the levy in detail as required in order to provide the public with no less than 30 days to review and understand the levy request. On December 8th, we published the levy hearing notice and all required data in the local newspaper. This fulfills the truth and taxation requirement to publish the notice not less than 7 days, but not more than 10 days before the hearing. And as mentioned earlier, tonight is the official levy hearing. And I will be asking the board to adopt the certificate of levy, which will then be filed with our 4 counties to complete the process. As a reminder, the levy represents our annual ask for local revenue needed to operate the district. Key terms in a levy process are the foundation for understanding how it all works. The levy, which is up for approval tonight, is our ask for local revenue. We calculate it using estimated EAV changes and estimated new property values provided by the counties. We intentionally balloon this amount to ensure that the district captures all of the revenue it is legally allowed to receive. However, because of PTEL, our revenue is capped at the December 24 CPI, which for this year is 2.9%. And I'll show the impact of that on an upcoming slide. I want to emphasize that the district's limit on new revenue does not limit how much your property value may increase. For this tax year, property values across all 4 counties are projected to increase by average 7.84%. And as a reminder, property assessments are determined entirely by the county and or the township assessor. The district plays no role in valuing somebody's home. Once we submit our ask, we wait until the spring, about 4 months later. So we set our ask using estimated data, and we don't even know what it is for another 4 months. When the counties finalize the actual property valuations, that is when we learn our estimates compared to the final numbers and what our final extension will be. And again, the extension cannot increase more than 2.9% over last year, regardless of how much we ask for today. This is also the point at which the counties, not the district, calculate the tax rate using that final extension number. Here in the red box, we see the tax levy, again our ask, which reflects a 4.99% increase, or about $11.8 million over last year's extension. As I mentioned on the last slide, we are only limited to the 2.9% in new revenue on existing properties because of PTEL. So you can see that in the circle. The 3.99% that you see includes new property. So again, it's an estimate that we're using for our new property as well. The orange box, whoa, I did not mean to do that. There we go. The orange box highlights the maximum dollar amount of new revenue we can receive without new construction, so $6.8 million. When we add in our historical average for new construction, the expected total revenue increase to approximately $9.4 million. So I'm going to try to simplify this. As I explained during the November 18th presentation, our projected increase in salary and benefit costs combined with inflation is currently estimated at about $12.5 million. If our new revenue comes in at roughly 9.4, that leaves us $3 million short. Even after adding the expected 1.5 increase in state funding, we're still looking at a projected deficit of about 1.5 on paper for FY27. So this is why I'm asking for the full 2.9%. Here's what the levy means for the typical homeowner. Changes to your tax bill are driven primarily by changes to your property value, not the district's tax rate. The district's extension, the actual amount we receive, will be determined in April. That determines our total revenue, but the counties calculate the individual tax bills. Here we see an estimated impact on homeowners in each of the 4 counties that without our debt service, which is a lower payment this year, so estimates could be actually less than what are shown. I want to stress that these are estimates that only take into consideration one exemption. Many taxpayers have more than just the homestead exemption, which is the primary resident exemption. Counties have the right to set their homestead exemption value, which is why you see DeKalb at $6,000, Cook at $10,000. Most counties throughout the state are similar to Kane and McHenry and have an $8,000 exemption. 3 of our counties calculate tax at 1/3 of property valuation, while Cook County calculates taxes at 10% of valuation. However, as you can see, the state equalization multiplier is 3 in Cook County, which is supposed to bring that value back in line with the rest of the state for that 1/3 for the rest of the state. In conclusion, tonight I will be asking the board to approve the tax year 25 certificate of tax levy. This levy represents our ask to taxpayers for local funding needed to support district operations for the second half of this fiscal year and the first half of FY27. From an audit and accounting perspective, we do recognize 50% of our property taxes in each fiscal year. With that, I will answer any questions.
We will be voting on the approval of the 2025 tax levy and resolution later in the meeting under roll call items. Is there anyone who wishes to speak regarding the 2025 tax levy? Is there anyone who wishes to speak or to comment regarding the 2025 tax levy? Hearing none, at this time, we are closing the public hearing. Is there a motion to close the public hearing for the 2025 tax levy?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Melia?
Aye.
Lamarcus?
Aye.
Fiorentino?
Aye.
Burkett?
Aye.
Lindmark?
Aye.
Zettler?
Aye.
McKinney? Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, up next, board announcements. Item 10.1, good news. Board members.
Congratulations to the Dundee Crown High School Chamber Choir, which performed last month at the joint annual conference in Chicago. Under the direction of Jake Stauffer, the choir presented a program that included energetic contemporary works, traditional carols, and cross-cultural selections, highlighting the vitality, joy, and global richness of choral music. The Joint Annual Conference is recognized as one of the nation's largest state education conferences and is hosted by the IASB, or the Illinois Association of School Boards, the Illinois Association of School Administrators, and the Illinois Association of School Business Officials. And just to add a comment that many of us in this room and board members were present, and we were beaming with pride. They were outstanding. Well done to Mr. Stauffer and the choir. Thank you.
District 300 hosted the annual Fox Valley Conference Jazz Festival at Jacobs High School last month. The event included clinics with Augustana College professors as well as performances by Augustana-affiliated musicians. Students from throughout the Fox Valley attended, including those from Dundee Crown, Hampshire, and Jacobs High Schools.
Carpentersville Middle School connects with the Lacey Family Education Center. Beta Club students from Carpentersville Middle School recently spent time connecting with preschoolers at the DeLacy Family Education Center. The visit included reading, playing, and the start of meaningful mentorships. Beta Club students will return to DeLacy throughout the year to strengthen their new connections.
Kane County Regional Office of Education celebrates student photographers. The Kane County Regional Office of Education recently hosted a reception to recognize category winners from its 9-week student photography contest. Among those recognized was Hampshire High School senior Jackson Warburton, whose black and white photo of an airplane took top honors in week 4 of the contest, which featured the theme nostalgia. Now in its second decade, the Student Photography Contest is designed to recognize and honor Kane County's talented student photographers, highlight the creativity and innovation in local schools, and provide a platform for students to express their passion through the arts.
Westfield Community School student combining creativity and entrepreneurship. Westfield Community School 8th grader Colt Nietzsky has been putting his creativity to work using his 3D printer to produce oversized chains for Jacobs High School and Junior Eagles football fans. Colt sold more than 40 chains at games this season, including a special pink design for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. He next plans to make his chains available at basketball games and thanks his parents for making his entrepreneurial pursuits possible.
District 300 hosts Leadership Council meeting. Earlier this month, community partners, including village presidents, village managers, police chiefs, fire chiefs, and leaders of local libraries, park districts, and more, gathered at central office for the second Leadership Council meeting of the school year. District 300 thanks the organizations that attended the meeting for their continued partnership and support of our students and staff.
District 300 hosts faith-based leaders meeting. Earlier today, leaders of our community's faith-based organizations engaged with district leadership at central office during the second faith-based leaders meeting of the school year. District 300 appreciates the time and community-focused collaboration our faith-based leaders contributed to the meeting.
Item 11, Superintendent Report. Dr. Smith.
I would like to welcome Mr. Chuck Bombalis, D300 Food Pantry Board Vice President, and Mrs. Michelle Clark, Director of Development, for an update and overview about our wonderful partnership with the food pantry.
Good evening, and thank you for having us back. I think we were here about 3 years ago. I think we came and joined you. My name is Chuck Bombalis. I'm Vice President of our board, and I'm with Michelle Clark, who's our Director of Development. We would have had our board president, Nikki Kuhlman, here, but she is at our holiday shop in Carpentersville tonight, where over the last 3 days, over 600 kids, their parents have been able to come in and shop and get 2 Christmas gifts for each of their children. And part of that is Mrs. Lamarca's Sandy Stocking is also part of our process for that. So very cool. So here we go.
For those of you who don't know, the District 300 Food Pantry operates out of the Carpentersville Middle School in the back. And the eligibility for services from the D300 Food Pantry is that we service families and students who are enrolled here in District 300. Next slide. Our mission is to keep the kids fed. And we do that with the highest quality products and the best variety. During our 10 years of operation, we have forged successful relationships with strategic partners to stock our shelves. And this slide shows the many businesses that provide food to us, and all of these, except one, provide all these foods as donations. We purchase food from the Northern Illinois Food Bank at a significantly discounted rate. But our donating partners, such as Bimbo Bakery, which is located in Lake Zurich, they provide us highest quality foods. Bimbo in particular provides us delicious bakery goods. And these are all in-demand products and high quality that our families appreciate and enjoy. Next slide. So how do we keep our shelves stocked? And how do we feed so many families from week to week? Well, if you ever have the opportunity to come and visit us at the food pantry, you will see a large number of dedicated and hardworking volunteers that are there they work together as a well-oiled machine. Several times a week, these volunteers are picking up our donations from our vendors and dropping them off at the pantry. They also sort the food, they stock our shelves, and they oversee our shopping night. To cultivate the support in the pantry requires we have volunteers also doing community events, establishing partnerships with local businesses, and organizing our events and doing extensive fundraising.
Couple of our successes. When we opened, it will have been open 10 years as of this coming September, which I know that's what we said. We said, wow, 10 years, pretty cool. But when we opened, we really were only able to serve about 25 families per week. That we had less refrigeration, less product available. As of, especially in the last year, we have really expanded that number. And with our walk-ups that come up to us on Thursday evening, we fill all 200 of our shopping slots, and it's pretty crowded. We do online shopping appointments now, so folks make an appointment ahead of time, so they come in a half-hour time slot. We did provide an outdoor heater in the winter when it gets really cool out there, a little bit small, so we don't have a reception area to hold folks inside. So, and then what we got was an alert system. So you get a ding on your phone, so you can sit in your car now, and it dings on your cell phone. So that's how we get folks to come on up. So that's one of our latest and newest things. Expanded refrigeration and a healthy food is really big to us, and we just received a $30,000 grant from the Siegel Foundation, and that is all focused on healthy food, especially dairy and produce, and through that. And we just got that started about a month ago. Our challenges are probably the same as every other food pantry. Customer wants and needs do change over time, and trying to keep up with that is always a challenge for us. There are certain staple food items. The availability of those hasn't always been as consistent. There's still supply chain issues out there. And it does affect us, especially through Northern Illinois Food Bank. But probably our greatest challenge is just the need for more space. We have really maxed out in the space where we are at. Tremendously appreciative of the space that we have. It works great for us. But as we take a look, it's really about storage. It's about refrigeration. It's about how we sort our food. It's about how we repackage our food. And then is having a better, more enhanced shopping experience for our customers, for our clients and our neighbors that would be greatly appreciated as we work through the master facility plan and take a look to see if there are other opportunities for the D300 Food Pantry as a part of the school district. In closing, we can't tell you how much we appreciate the support of the Board of Education, the administration, including Dr. Smith and John Mickle, who is the operations person, who really helps us out tremendously, and the maintenance staff, especially at Carpentersville Middle, and many members of John's staff who help to keep things going within the building. Without, we wouldn't be able to continue our slogan, which is keeping the kids fed. We're proud of our first 10 years of service for the D300 community, and we really look forward to what the future has to bring. And we'd answer any questions that you might have of us.
I don't have any questions, but I just have to say thank you. I mean, what you're doing, what you do every single week is just so impactful to the community that we live in. And I don't think people who haven't ever been directly involved don't realize the amount of physical labor that goes into what you all accomplish every single week is astounding. And to do it as volunteers is just mind-blowing. So I just want to say thank you and just keep up the good work and just know that you have a million people out here that support you and just really give you accolades for everything you do every single week for these families.
And we are very appreciative of all of our volunteers and the support that we get, like I said, from the administration and from the Board of Education. Very, very appreciative of that, and thank you.
I just want to echo Leslie's thank you. I know how this impacts our community. It's always great not when you see that there is a need for food, but when you see a social media post asking for help and people are referring, right to a group that's right in our neighborhood that's able and accessible to directly help our community and neighbors. It's great that we have this, and I appreciate all of the work that you all do, all of the work that the schools and various community partners do to make sure that you have food there to help our community. So thank you as well.
And due to lack of time, we would have mentioned all of the teams that come and help us and all the donation drives that we've had. A couple of weeks ago, we went to 11 schools, and at the end of picking up from those 11 schools, we had 12 pallets of food. We have gone to villages now. We work with John Mickle and others, just trying to store it all. So it's been really, really, the outpouring of support from the community has been fantastic.
Anyone else?
I just want to additionally say thank you. Chuck, as you know, many people in the room here, they've stepped up. You guys stepped up. We had some additional crisis happen in our school communities the past few weeks and months, and as well as Mr. Williamson and his teams have stepped up, and many of my team have stepped up to really work with you guys and just making sure we thank them, and that anything we can continue to do, we're happy to do it.
And we really do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time this evening. Great night.
Mr. Mark Wetzel, Deputy Superintendent, Personal Electronic Devices Update.
Good evening, Dr. Smith, members of the Board of Education, and community members. We've been discussing personal electronic devices and collecting feedback from various stakeholder groups since last winter. Tonight, we're happy to provide a formal recommendation to update policy along with a proposal to purchase materials to support implementation. This is what I want. There we go. We know that there are many challenges that we are facing. Research shows that personal electronic devices impact attention, learning, social emotional well-being in a classroom or instructional space. Teachers and administrators report distractions, off-task behaviors, and inconsistent enforcement across schools. Parents have raised concerns about distraction and access for safety. Students want connection, but also fairness. These are all factors that need to be considered with a thoughtful policy. I'd like to take a moment to review the key points provided from our initial work with Hanover. This information was shared during the August 12th Board of Education meeting. Cell phone use among students varies by grade level, with younger students in grades 4 to 5 primarily using cell phones for personal communication and a majority not using them during school hours. Starting in middle school, cell phone use in school begins to increase and continues to increase as students progress through high school. There is consistency throughout our system with opinions on the benefits and concerns of cell phone use. When asked to select the top 2 benefits of cell phone use, the top response across all grade levels was for emergency preparedness, with the second highest response for enhancing communication. When asked to provide the top 2 concerns of cell phone use, the top concern across all grade levels was that cell phones distract from learning, with the second highest concern for cheating and academic dishonesty. The Hanover survey also revealed that stakeholders have mixed opinions on the overall impact of cell phone usage. The graph on the left includes responses from students in grades 6 through 12, staff, parents, and community members. The graph on the right includes responses from staff, parents, and community members as well. And when asked about access to social media via cell phones, concerns are definitely high. So that was the initial work. In October, we gathered additional feedback from the community and our staff. We started by seeking feedback on options during instructional time. The options discussed included the use of cell phone lockers, magnetic pouches, a policy of off and away, and teacher discretion. We also sought feedback on options during non-instructional time, such as before and after school, during lunch, and during passing periods. The options discussed included open use at lunch, utilizing designated unlock zones, and restricting use during passing periods. We also looked for feedback to determine if there should be different expectations for different grade level bands. After careful analysis of community feedback, the community has clearly indicated that personal electronic devices should not be used during instruction time at any level. For elementary school, the majority indicated that students have no need for personal electronic devices at school at any time. For middle and high school, the majority indicated that the use of personal electronic devices should be allowed during non-instructional times. Results for strategies to manage cell phones during instruction time were mixed. Respondents were either supportive of a physical storage strategy, such as pouches or lockers, or they were supportive of students simply keeping devices turned off and put away. That being said, the feedback indicated the need for students to have access to their devices in cases of emergency. Staff responses were similar to community responses. The feedback has clearly indicated that personal electronic devices should not be used during instruction time at any level. For elementary school, the majority indicated that students have no need for personal electronic devices at school at any time. For middle and high school, responses indicated a little bit of a split. Roughly half respondents indicated that the use of personal electronic devices should be allowed during non-instructional times, while the other half indicated that personal electronic devices should not be allowed at all. The most cited solutions to manage personal electronic devices were lockers and pouches. We also engaged with the superintendent's Student Advisory Committee to learn their thoughts on personal electronic devices. In general, the students indicated that we should avoid an all-out ban on personal electronic devices. They also indicated that devices have become a major distraction at each high school, and they acknowledged that teachers would benefit from a consistent system to manage devices. Specific to high school, the students indicated that there should be opportunities to use devices during non-instructional times, such as before and after school, during lunch, and during passing periods. And they would like fairness for students who make the right decisions. To help, they indicated the storage option should be available for students to place devices into during instruction, with the availability of specifically Yonder pouches for students who routinely struggle to meet expectations. They also noted that there should be flexibility for students with special needs. Based on all of the available information and feedback from the winter to October, including the information shared tonight, we are recommending updating Board Policy 7:190 for personal electronic devices. Note that this recommendation is not intended to replace the acceptable use policy for district-provided devices such as Chromebooks. Under the new policy, students may possess devices while on school grounds. This is important for emergency situations and, especially as students get older, the ability to communicate with parents for rides and to connect with employers. The use of personal electronic devices is prohibited during instruction time. The district provides students with devices that replicate many of the features available on their personal devices. Administration may approve the use of personal electronic devices for specific educational or medical purposes. This offers flexibility if needed and allows for educational and medical accommodations to be met in accordance with specific student assessments, 504, IEP, or medical plans. We understand that different age groups have different needs. Policy will refer to an additional document that will spell out different expectations for elementary, middle, and high school regarding use during non-instructional time. Please see the attached memo for the specific board policy language. It's the red language in the memo. In addition, feedback from all stakeholder groups indicates the need for physical storage strategy to support the implementation of the policy. We are proposing the purchase of Yonder pouches in response to this feedback. We are looking to purchase enough pouches for students in grades K-12 that will help meet the policy if approved by the board in January. Procedural expectations will be worked on through a district task force. So what happens next? Tonight we presented a proposal updated policy to the board along with materials to support implementation. My apologies. In January, the board will vote on the proposed policy and purchase. Pending board approval, we will develop a task force consisting of a range of district staff to engage in collaborative work in preparation for implementing the updated policy. This will occur from late January through March. We will implement the new policy starting on the first day of school in August. Next slide. Any questions that you have for me?
You have a question? I do have a question. With these Yonder pouches, is the anticipation to use them for everyone throughout the day? Like they come in, they check them into the Yonder pouches, and then like they go to lunch, they can pass through the magnetic thing, get it unlocked, and then it goes back in the Yonder pouch? Or is this just in case a student is having a difficulty with the off and away?
That's an excellent question. I think that that's the type of work and the type of conversation that will come through the task force, 100%.
Will the task force be made up of staff or include any community members?
It's going to consist of staff, and it will consist of administration and lead members. And I've already kind of talked a little bit with Mr. Williamson about what that might look like.
In mentioning the non-instructional times, where do we land on the passing periods for middle school, especially high school? Or is that going to be part of the task force as well?
You got it. That's going to be part of the task force as well. They will have that conversation to determine what is best for kids at those levels.
Now, the task force, will they learn from districts around us or statewide or that have already gone through this? Because, you know, we just at the recent state meeting, we've heard many districts that have moved this forward before us. So are we going to look at that through the task force and see what they've learned?
We potentially could do that. My main focus at this point in time is to establish the task force and then to start to put the data in front of them so that we can develop the initial phases of what procedures would look like, but that could be part of our work for sure.
And we've already reviewed, probably a little bit ad nauseum, which is why we haven't implemented it yet, what other districts are doing. So I think that although it wasn't plainly stated in the presentation, we've already considered and kind of borrowed the things that we have heard are working in the surrounding districts.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. I did visit the booth at the conference, and it seems to be a pretty neat tool that seems to work. I would like for us to make sure we take a look at the data, be privy to some of the data from that company, if they can provide it to us. I mean, just as you mentioned a few minutes ago, so that we can leverage what's working and what's not, so that we can use it to our best advantage.
Sure, the company has all kinds of data. We can certainly supply some data.
And we can summarize that as we have looked at options beyond Yonder and things in collaboration with LEAD, and Yonder was the #1 preference, but we will also summarize the data that we received from Yonder as well.
My question is, are you going to ask us to approve the changes in the policy before the task force is enabled?
No, the policy that is in, okay, let me rephrase this. The policy is to prohibit use during instruction time. That's really the major shift in the policy. Okay, and so then the work of the task force is going to say, okay, what does that look like? If we're restricting these during class, what does that look like? If we're restricting these in other areas or not, what does that look like? And that would be the outcome of that work, is the procedures for all of that. So the policy right now is teacher discretion. What we're saying, based on all of the evidence that we have gathered, is that these are a major distraction during instruction time, and kids need to not be distracted during instruction time, so we're prohibiting that during instruction time. That's the policy shift.
And that's what we'll be voting on before the task force, is that the
Yes.
policy will be that they will not be allowed during instructional time, but we don't have any supports in place for how that looks. Is that what I'm getting?
At this time, you are correct.
All right. I mean, I'm all for the policy for not during instruction time. I just want to make sure that we're supporting the best we can with that shift.
100%.
As part of the presentation to change the policy, would you share some of the cost parts of it? Because there's a big difference between magnetic packs and some districts that are using, I don't know the name for it, but it's almost like a shoe bag that, check in. I mean, those are $20 and the Yonder packs are not. So if we could take a look at that, that would be helpful.
Yeah, and we did. And something that was considered during that time is, although a caddy may cost $20, it costs $1,300 to replace an iPhone. And so some things we considered is a caddy that is not secured and opportunity for things to be taken that don't belong to others. And so, but I also know we received some quotes from some other options, so we can share that as well.
Yes, we did. We can share that.
Yep. We looked at 3 different options, right?
Okay. Thank you.
I know the emphasis is on cell phones. How is that going to look with smartwatches? I have 2 young kids, and my daughter has a Gizmo watch, which I can turn off. I can prevent her from using it during the day when I put it on school mode. Does it apply to things like that, or is that kind of in the works for the future?
Well, it may. I mean, we are looking at items such as cell phones, smartwatches, AirPods, all of those types of things that we will look at, and we will determine procedures that go along with those pieces. So.
And what we have learned from surrounding districts that only started with cell phones is that they are facing the challenges of now going back and trying to restrict more. So we would want to be in a situation where we are restricting and then determining if we need to lighten the restriction rather than starting a new habit, and now we have to try to start all over again. And so we will restrict further than not.
Do the Yonder pouches accommodate like a watch and like I didn't take a
Yes,
close
they
look.
do.
Okay. There's room for
I have
multiple.
fit
And I can
multiple
speak
items
to
in there.
I can
Yeah.
speak to that because I've had to use a Yonder pouch at a comedy show and a concert, and they took my watch. So they took my iPhone, and I have a 17, and they took my watch, and it all fit.
Any other questions from anyone else?
Good work. Thank you.
No,
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Much
it.
needed.
Next, we will have our academic update, which will also include a strategic plan update. Mrs. Patty Schmidt, Dr. Melanie Gravel, and Mrs. Nikki Woodbury.
Good evening, Dr. Smith and members of the board. This evening, Mrs. Schmidt, Mrs. Woodbury, and I will be providing an academic update. Our academic update will include information on the following 3 topics: an update on the state report card, progress on the district strategic plan, as well as details regarding our school improvement plans. We'll begin this evening with an update on the state report card. This fall, the Illinois State Board of Education released its 2025 Illinois Report Card, which provides detailed information about our schools. Key components include summative designations, graduation rate, student growth and proficiency, student attendance, as well as demographics. The full data set is publicly available at www.illinoisreportcard.com. Annually, schools receive a summative designation on the Illinois Report Card. The designation is based on the school's overall data and the data for each student group for all of the accountability indicators. For the 2025 Illinois Report Card, Illinois continued to use 5 summative designation categories. In District 300, 2 schools were recognized as exemplary, 23 as commendable, and 2 as targeted. We did not have any schools with the comprehensive or intensive designations. In 2018, Illinois began issuing annual summative designations as part of its accountability system. To better understand how designations are determined, we can refer to these pie charts. On the left, for our elementary and middle schools, there are a variety of indicators that are factored into a school's summative designation. Academic indicators include student growth in English language arts and math, proficiency in English language arts, math, and science, as well as English learner progress to proficiency. In addition, school quality and student success indicators include chronic absenteeism and climate survey. It should be noted that student growth has the greatest impact on a school summative designation at the elementary and middle school levels, where student growth in English language arts and math combined are weighted at 50% of the overall summative designation. Unlike elementary and middle schools, as we look to the left, our high schools do not include a growth indicator. Academic indicators at the high school level include proficiency in ELA, math and science, graduation rate, and English learner progress to proficiency. In addition, school quality and success indicators include chronic absenteeism, climate survey, and 9th graders on track to graduate. Graduation rate has the greatest impact on a school's summative designation at the high school level, where it's weighted as 50% of their overall score. In an effort to realize post-pandemic recovery at the state level, the Illinois State Board of Education has launched several significant initiatives, including the Illinois Comprehensive Literacy Plan, a focus on addressing chronic absenteeism, a shift from SAT to ACT, right-sizing proficiency benchmarks, a draft numeracy plan, and a redesign of the accountability system, which will be used to assign annual designations, as well as now a shift at the state level from a focus from school improvement for some schools based on designation to school improvement for all schools. These initiatives have resulted in many changes at the state level, and they've influenced our work and driven our internal adjustments. Throughout this presentation, we will share how these initiatives have impacted the state report card and how in turn that impacts District 300. One of the changes reflected in the 2025 data that we'll be reviewing this evening includes changes in state performance levels. You'll notice that the terminology on the left, representing performance levels on assessments previously in 2024, lacked consistency. For example, while the Illinois Assessment of Readiness, also known as IAR, had 5 performance descriptors, the Illinois Science Assessment and SAT had 4 performance descriptors. Additionally, you'll notice that the previous high school assessment was the ACT. As we mentioned, one of the shifts across Illinois included a shift from SAT to ACT, and you will see that shift as you look to the chart and the information on the right. This year, the spring 2025 assessment data, regardless of what assessment that it was, it included the same 4 performance level descriptors. Another change in the spring 2025 assessment data reporting is this shift in proficiency benchmarks. With the 4 new unified performance levels, ISB also right-sized the proficiency benchmarks. This means that for each assessment, the bar was adjusted, resulting in new cut scores and score ranges for those 4 categories, for above proficient, proficient, approaching proficient, as well as below proficient. This provided an opportunity to align to college and career readiness, as the previous benchmarks for ELA and math were among the nation's highest, while science was too low. So it's important to note that as a result of the changes to both those performance levels and the right sizing of those proficiency benchmarks, as well as the shift from SAT to ACT at the high school level, while we look at the data through the lens of the state report card, we can't compare it with previous year's data for proficiency because the data wouldn't be comparing apples to apples now. Earlier in this presentation, I shared the indicators and the math behind the current state accountability system that has been in place since 2018 to issue summative designations to schools. ISB intends that this is the last year of the current accountability system. They're currently redesigning this system, and a draft has been made publicly available, and it's shown here. The first step in the system was redesigning the assessment system, which we just reviewed. Our current accountability system is based on comparative rankings. And what that means is schools are compared to each other, but it's how their data looks from year to year and where they fall within that comparison. So the target is always moving and shifting. So the shift that we would see here with the draft accountability redesign is that it would no longer compare schools against each other based on their data for the year. It's going to define a set of performance standards and keep that target still and consistent throughout the years. We anticipate next year's academic update will reflect changes in the accountability system, but we do want to take an opportunity to provide a brief overview of some of these key differences. Proficiency is currently measured with 3 separate indicators: ELA, math, and science. In the draft redesign, proficiency will be calculated as a composite of all 3 of those. Growth is currently measured separate for ELA and math at elementary and middle school, and as 9th grade on track for high school. In the draft redesign, growth will include a composite of ELA and math throughout all of those grade level bands. Currently, our accountability system is focused on chronic absenteeism. We will see a shift in the accountability redesign from chronic absenteeism to consistent attendance. And what that means is it's the percent of students who've been present 90% or more of the school year. Keeping all of this in mind, English language arts proficiency is one of the elementary, middle, and high school indicators that is currently weighted at about 7.5% of a school's summative designation. This ELA percent proficient measures how many students who were assessed in English language arts, either on the Illinois Assessment of Readiness or the ACT Suite, how many of those students earned scores at the proficient or above proficient levels. We continue to make gains in the area of literacy and are aligning to the Illinois Comprehensive Literacy Plan. Our overall ELA proficiency is slightly lower than the state average, but when looking at the data by grade level bands, high school ELA proficiency levels are above the state average. Math proficiency is another one of the elementary, middle, and high school indicators weighted at 7.5% of the school's summative designation. The math percent proficient measures how many students assessed in math, either on the IAR or ACT Suite, earn scores at the proficient or above proficient levels. Overall, District 300's math percent proficient is comparable to the state average, with grades 3 through 8 slightly above. We continue to make gains in the area of math and align to the draft Illinois Numeracy Plan. District 300 also continues to expand our career and technical education CTE programming. The 2025 data indicates that we had the highest number of students since 2022 participating in CTE coursework, as well as students participating in career and technical education concentrators, which is any student who's completed at least 2 courses in a single CTE program or career pathway. As we've increased these CTE opportunities for our District 300 students, they've demonstrated interest. As a result of this increase in CTE enrollment, District 300 has seen an increase in grant funding opportunities to support these programs. At this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Patty Schmidt, Executive Director of School Improvement and Accountability, to the podium to share a strategic plan update.
Thank you, Dr. Gravel. Next, we're going to take a look at the strategic plan. In 21-22 school year, the previous administration took on the enormous task of revising the District 300 strategic plan. We were coming out of a time when key areas of education were vastly different than prior to 2020. Chronic absenteeism was at an all-time high. Schools began to see student behaviors manifest in ways that we had not seen before. We needed to respond to the current educational climate. Teams of people worked to hear the concerns of staff, parents, and the board to address some of the areas of need. Through this process, the new strategic plan had been developed along with all of the action items believed to accomplish these goals. As reported in many updates over the years, we have accomplished each of the action items that we have set out to under the current strategic plan. Goal 1 of the strategic plan highlights the needs of the whole child in the areas of attendance, behavior, and belonging. One key metric that we have continually reported on is the improved chronic absent rate for our students. In 21-22, our chronic absent rate was at a staggering 31%. Through the systematic approach of addressing chronic absenteeism, our communities have responded over the past few years, and we are currently at 22% chronic absent rate. We continue to work with our school teams to reduce this number, even though we have consistently met our metrics for strategic plan targets. Goal 2 of the strategic plan is focused on the academic growth and achievement of each student, and this has been measured in the past by student performance in grades 3 through 8 on the Illinois Assessment of Readiness. As was mentioned earlier, the assessment proficiency levels have changed, as indicated by that red dotted line, and so we need to consider adjusting our goals in order to align to the new state levels of accountability. Prior to the adjustment by the state, District 300 students were above the targets set forth for each of the years in English language arts as measured by IAR. Even though we have been below the state average, we have shown consistent growth over the life of our strategic plan, continuing to exceed our targets along the way. One area of celebration in Math, though, has continued to tell a different story in District 300 as well as across the state. When the Illinois State Board of Education began to focus on our literacy plan, their literacy plan, many across the state start to see new gains in the area of literacy. And now we hope to see that the same gains will begin to happen as we draw near with the future implementation of the state numeracy plan. An area of celebration in Goal 2 is the increased percent of students who are taking advanced placement exams, who earned a score of 3 or better and were eligible for college credit for these courses. 77% of the students who tested in the AP tests last year earned these credits, which is an increase from 58% in the year 2021. This slide reflects our long-term response to a growing need, ensuring every student graduates prepared for what comes next, college, career, or both. Over time, it became clear that simply offering pathways was not enough. Students need intentional, aligned experiences that build real skills, provide early college credit, and connect learning to the workforce. Our evolution into college and career pathway endorsements represents a shift from exposure to preparedness, combining coursework, early college opportunities, and real work experiences so students leave D300 with options and confidence. As this work has matured, we've expanded access to dual credit, articulated credit, and endorsements that signal readiness beyond high school. The result is a system designed to meet students where they are and better equip them for success in post-secondary education or the workforce. Goal 3 focuses on our commitment to developing and retaining great staff. One component among many has been to diversify the teaching staff to better align with the demographics of our current student population. We have exceeded our goal each year of the strategic plan, as the Human Resources Department has done a great job of attending various job fairs to recruit the very best of the best for District 300. Goal 4 of the strategic plan highlighted the need for targeted communication to the community about district-wide news. One way the communications department took on this task was through increased communication campaigns. At the end of the summer, the Back to School Communications campaign was targeting an outcome of increased student attendance during the first week of school. With a systematic approach to the communications campaigns, District 300 has remained ahead of the goal for the past 2 years and landed at an amazing 96% of attendance rate for the very first week of school. As you have heard in previous presentations, the Master Facility Plan, which is the main focus for Goal 5, is well underway with solid recommendations for the future of D300 facilities. It is clear to us that the strategic plan that began in 2022 has come to its completion, but the work of District 300 staff has not. During the 26-27 school year, the district will be taking on the task of refocusing our goals and developing a new strategic plan. This will be accomplished by collaboratively ensuring to hear feedback among all stakeholders throughout the development phase. Now we will turn this over to Mrs. Woodbury.
Now that we've reviewed the state report card and updates to our strategic plan, we will move on to an overview and updates on our school improvement plans and process. The foundation of District 300 school improvement plans has been and continues to be school improvement for all. As Dr. Gravel mentioned earlier, the state's accountability redesign prioritizes that same principle. Because District 300 has long embedded this approach into our process, we are already positioned ahead of the state's shift in practice. We remain committed to meeting each school where it is at and providing a differentiated approach to support their continuous improvement. Throughout the school improvement process, each building leadership team analyzes individual data to determine goals and action steps for the school year. In collaboration with district-level administrative partners, teams review multiple data points, including chronic absenteeism, office discipline referrals, results from belonging inventory, and state assessments such as the Illinois Assessment of Readiness for grades 3 through 8 and the ACT for grades 9 through 11. Using this data, building leadership teams develop personalized goals with action steps that are directly aligned to identified areas of need. Each plan is reviewed at least quarterly with assistant superintendents of schools to monitor progress, determine next steps, and identify any additional supports that are needed. These plans are living documents designed to guide and support each leadership team throughout the entire school year. While the state report card continues to provide stakeholders with a snapshot of each district's data point in multiple areas, and District 300's strategic plan establishes long-term priorities for the system as a whole, the school improvement plans are where the work comes to life at the school level. The school improvement plans serve as the bridge between accountability and action, translating district goals and state expectations into intentional, day-to-day practices within each of our buildings. Each school develops specific goals and action steps that are directly aligned to both the state report card indicators and the district's strategic plan, with a focus on attendance, behavior, sense of belonging, English language arts achievement, and mathematics achievement. Because these goals are grounded in each school's unique data, the school improvement plans becomes the linchpin for meaningful, continuous improvement, ensuring that every school is supported in making progress in their areas that matter most for their students in each of their buildings. Staying system-focused is critical to the success of our school improvement plans. While each school addresses unique challenges and develops individualized goals, these efforts are connected through a consistent district-wide approach to school improvement for all. By aligning practices, monitoring data regularly, and collaborating across buildings and district teams, we ensure that improvements are not isolated, but instead contribute to meaningful growth across the entire district and in each individual building. This approach allows us to identify patterns, share best practices, and provide targeted support where it is most needed, keeping our focus on equity, continuous improvement, and long-term outcomes for every student. As we look to the future, at the heart of District 300's approach to school improvement for all is a focus on high-quality instructional materials and high-yield instructional practices. These materials and strategies are essential to supporting meaningful growth in both ELA and math, and ensuring that every student has access to rigorous, standard-aligned learning experiences. Our work continues to be grounded in the professional learning community model, where teachers collaborate regularly to analyze data, reflect on their practice, and adjust instruction. Instructional coaches partner with our schools to support teachers in implementation of those high-impact strategies and to ensure alignment across our classrooms. In addition, District 300 is intentionally aligning our district-level literacy and math plans to the Illinois Comprehensive Literacy and Draft Numeracy plans, integrating our state guidance with our priorities. This alignment ensures that each school improvement plan is connected to both the state accountabilities redesign and the district's strategic plan, providing a cohesive roadmap for continual improvement. Together, these efforts, high-quality instructional materials, effective practices, PLC collaboration, and targeted coaching ensure that each school is equipped to meet students where they are, close learning gaps, and foster growth in every classroom for every student. Thank you. What questions can our team answer for you?
That was a lot.
It was.
Does anyone have any questions that they want to fire off? I'm still kind of digesting a little bit what was presented.
I just had one. I have one quick one. Are the school improvement plans, are they public? Are they like, can I'm assuming parents can look at them and whatnot.
There are internal ones,
Okay.
those are for the school
Just the
buildings.
schools, okay.
Yes, yes.
I know we're making improvements regarding chronic absenteeism. What are we trying to do for like the students that are in the two that are at the bottom category?
For the targeted schools?
Yes.
For specific to chronic absenteeism?
No, to the other academic areas.
So each of those buildings has a very specific school improvement plan as well that is also connected to the state's accountability system. And so we've been providing multiple different supports at each of the buildings, and they are continuing to make progress.
Is
anything specific you want to add to that?
I would just add that they are working with state representatives from the State Board of Education on following the plans that would meet the state requirements for receiving that additional support, and they're currently in the planning phases for those revised school improvement plans.
Is there a way to is there like an ongoing report where you can see where you're at before the report comes out, so you know? I mean, so you can kind of track it.
Right. So with the current accountability system at the state, there is no way for us to currently monitor those pieces.
Is there a way for us to be strategic on how we're planning to make sure that we're meeting those different categories?
Yes, we do have several internal metrics that we monitor on a regular basis with internal measures.
And that is part of the new redesign in the draft, at least, is that there will be, that target will not be moving. We will know what the target is going to be according to the current draft. There's still obviously gaining feedback across statewide.
Are we privy to those data, on maybe quarterly or
the cut scores for the, or?
Data on the schools, just where they're at and whatnot.
So there are certain pieces that we do have information on our students, such as chronic absenteeism. We do follow on a monthly basis where our students and our schools are falling within the chronic absenteeism rates, and we do have measures in order to monitor those internally.
Do we know how we're doing with the new things that we just put in place regarding chronic absenteeism? Is that helping at all?
Our current absenteeism rate is actually lower by several percentage points this year as compared to the last several years.
Yeah, I do understand that, but I think we just we just put in some things to even help it to be better, right?
That's for day-to-day attendance. Chronic absenteeism is a one-time measure that the state takes in March.
Okay.
And so we focus every single day. So by the time we take that measure in March, we're able to average the best rate possible. So I monitor the attendance daily, but that's not the same as chronic absenteeism, which is the rate that we're working towards with those small incremental strategies like what you just said. So yes.
Right.
Would you take us back to the CTE slide? The one that had over time? I don't know if it was called that.
This one, or?
Yes. Start there. So, I'm going back a few years, and we remember a robust program, and what I do recall is that we felt as a school district we were ahead of many districts around us relative to CTE. When we look at the programming, just the sheer number that you have highlighted there, I have no idea, where we compare, and it's hard to find some of the CTE type of things on the report card. Is this something that we could look at?
I'll let Joe speak to that, but I think that it's also available on our website, if I'm not mistaken. Joe, go ahead and step to the mic and talk about that.
Yeah, can you repeat the exact question?
So the question would be, that's a snapshot of where we've been. What I'd love to see is where we are in comparison to whatever the comparator is, state numbers, Northern Illinois. We just really have no idea. Number of students, number of programs, students within the program.
Yeah, there's two that I can think of. The IRC will do a state comparison on some of these metrics, as well as there's a statewide dashboard that does a district, a county like EFE 110, and a comparison to the state with some of these metrics. So that can be shared.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
Does that answer that question? Steve, does that answer your question?
It does. So at a later time, I'd like to see that. I don't want to speak for everybody else, but, you know, because we spent a lot of time back in the 14, 15, 16 years, because again, we felt like we were ahead of some. So we were doing a lot of comparisons. I felt like we haven't done that recently. So I don't know. Are we at?
Yeah, I can get that together. I know the last 2 years, the one that I said that has Kane County, the district, and the state was published. I can't recall if I saw one for this year or not.
Okay.
But we can at least look at those two. And then the IRC does have a state comparison next to ours, which I think we can also put multiple districts and compare on the IRC too. So there might be some stuff we can do with that.
Okay, I think kind of going back to what he's saying, because I remember years ago, Huntley had like the medical pathway, which we didn't. So it's kind of like that was one thing we were striving to get to. I think we are there now. So it's kind of, it would be nice to see how what kind of gains we're making with communities around us, because some, as we've said in the past, some people look at those things before they send, if they want to send their kids to school here, about what kind of pathways that we offer, and make sure that, and then also like the fact that we offer it to all the different kids in the high schools. It would be nice to see the data as in comparison to the neighboring
Can you
districts.
talk about quantity and quality versus number of opportunities that we're able to provide? Although we have not officially established a healthcare, we have opportunities for students that are happening right now in that realm, and we exceed multiple districts in the county, if I'm correct, beyond the healthcare option for our students.
Yeah, for the endorsements, I know we're leading the region, that I can say with confidence. I'll be careful with like the northwest suburbs, because I think like Huntley has quite a few endorsements approved. With the endorsements, I think what Dr. Smith's getting at is you have to remember that isn't about quantity. The state said that. We do have to have 3 different ones approved by 2031, which is great. We already did that, so we don't have to worry about that. Now it's about starting to get more and more kids through. But just know that the great part about the endorsements is students can participate as much as they want, as deep as they want, but they don't have to earn it. So if they're just sort of interested, it's tweaking their interest, they can participate. But to get the whole endorsement, all the work-based learning and stuff that's embedded in it, the really serious students that are down that path, that want to do it, that's available to them. So it's not about every kid earning one. It'd be great if they could, but not every kid's going to have that passion. So it's that idea of multiple exit points for kids. If they want to try other programs, we want to be flexible. We've seen a lot of districts backtrack off of the idea of academies or that type of model for that reason, because college kids are changing their degrees. High school kids are going to do that even more, and that's what we want, them to change decisions while they're here rather than at college or whatever post-secondary education they're doing.
Can you speak specifically to the options our kids have right now with healthcare and what that could look like moving forward?
Yeah, so right now we have some healthcare related science classes, anatomy, Bio 110 at 2 of the 3 high schools, or students can take Bio 110 at ECC. I bring that up because that's biology for science majors typically. So that's a impactful class. But we're also looking at a number of other programs out there. There's a project Lead the Way Biomedical Science, bringing CNA possibly on board in the district. CNA is available at ECC, but with very limited availability. And there's a lot of barriers that are provided by, or are caused by students having to go to ECC. So I think the more we can do some of that early career exploration type courses on our campuses, the better off they are to be a pipeline then to ECC. And I know we are definitely aware of the new center, so we'll be having some discussions with ECC about their new programming related to that and like how we can bridge those gaps.
Other questions for Joe specifically before I let the others three step back up? Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Later.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, my question has to do with the report card. I've always kind of wondered, and so I'm just finally going to ask. So I know you said, and just kind of tailgates a little bit on what Ms. McKinday was asking about, I think, but I know you said that there's no indicators along the way about how we're doing, no tracking available, but like, is there a true element of surprise, like when that comes out? I mean, do we have some kind of idea of where we're going to land? You know, I mean, because I know you guys are so on top of our data and what's happening. I mean, I have all the confidence in the world that you do that and you show us, you know, what you're doing. But it just seems like there's still like a ta-da, here you go. And that's, I mean,
That's a great question.
just kind of like, talk about that, because I was wondering, hoping my cohorts feel the same way.
Sure.
Like, where
So
does that
some
come
of
from?
the components within the report card, we are able to predict what the actual rate of something might be. So we can say what % of our students at the end of the year and along the way are chronically absent or chronically truant, because that's a static number that we can monitor along the way. What we don't know is how does that fall within how the rest of the state has performed as far as a metric for where it falls within the accountability features. So for example, we earn points based on the amount of growth that has occurred within a given area. And whether you have earned all of those points or not is irrelevant, because if some other district across the state actually tripled the number of points that they did, your doubling of the points didn't do enough to make what this other district had accomplished seem even relevant. So with the current accountability system, you're chasing a target that is constantly moving as far as where is the line between I need significant school improvement supports versus we're in an okay state where we're hitting the mark. So with the current system, that is one of the challenges that the state has identified and that they're looking to address so that we can better predict from the state accountability portion where we will actually fall each year, and we can tailor then the school improvement pieces that need to happen directly to what the school's needs are. So it has been kind of a ta-da as far as where the points end up landing according to the rest of the state. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Anyone else?
Thank you.
No other questions? Okay. And then we just have our other team members here in the back that we're lucky enough not to get called to the mic like Joe. So thanks, Joe, and thank you for all of you that support Patty and Nikki and Melanie in leading this work.
All right, up next is item 12, board discussion. Item 12.1, board committee reports. Are there any updates regarding board committees?
Not at this time.
Yeah, I would say that the next operations committee meeting is Tuesday, January 13th at 4:30. We always encourage people to attend or watch the recordings of those meetings so they can keep up to date on a lot of what we'll be voting on coming up here shortly. Anyone else on board committees? Okay, item 12.2, board discussion. Do any board members have anything they want to share or talk about? All right, we can move on then to item 13, items for discussion. Item 13.1, revision to board policy 7:190. Is there any discussion regarding that? Okay, hearing none. Item 13.2, Yonder Education Program, MOA. Any discussion there? Okay, we can move on to 14, consent items. The consent items are standard procedure items or items that have been previously reviewed and discussed at the Board Operations Committee meeting and need no further discussion. Is there a motion to approve the consent items?
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Settler,
Aye.
Melia,
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Lindmark,
Aye.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, item 15, roll call action items. 15.1, approval of change order approvals. Is there a motion for the approval of change order approvals?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Melia,
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
15.2, approval of custodial supplies and equipment bid. Is there a motion for the approval of the custodial supplies and equipment bid?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Zettler,
Aye.
Melia,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Item 15.3, approval of ground supplies and equipment extension. Is there a motion for the approval of the grounds supplies and equipment extension?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Melia,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
Fiorentino.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
15.4, approval of middle school year-end event contract. Is there a motion for the approval of the middle school year-end event contract?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Melia,
Aye.
Zettler.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item 15.5, approval of standardization of work order platform contract addition. Is there a motion for the approval of the standardization of work order platform contract addition?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Melia,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Lamarcus,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item 15.6, approval of technology-related services contract renewals. Is there a motion for the approval of the technology-related services contract renewals?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Melia,
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Lindmark,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item 15.7, approval of Village of Hampshire intergovernmental agreement. Is there a motion for the approval of Village of Hampshire intergovernmental agreement?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Can you remind me what this one is about again? Somebody?
I think, is this the one for the training?
$250 a year for the SROs.
Okay. That was my only question.
I'm sorry, I didn't review this. I didn't do this memo.
I think it was for the
I
training.
believe it's
for
the
that.
250.
I'm looking right here for Joe, and he's over here.
Yes, this is for a virtual reality training program that our SROs complete. So Hampshire has this special simulator, and so they go quarterly for this training. And Hampshire provides trainers to complete the training with the SROs.
I remember now. Thank you.
And it's $250 per year.
Per SRO.
Per SRO.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
For SRO in the district or just in Hampshire?
For the SROs in the district. So for example, the ones from Carpentersville go out to Hampshire PD for the training.
Okay, any more discussion? All right, and Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lindmark,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
Amelia,
Aye.
McKinley, aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Item 15.8, approval of the 2025 levy and resolutions. Is there a motion for the approval of the 2025 levy and resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Amelia,
Aye.
McKinley, aye. Zettler,
Aye.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item 15.9, approval of student discipline case number 1.
So moved.
Oh, I have to read the motion, sorry. Motion to place student number 1 at Oak Ridge School pursuant to the Regional Safety Program and established by, as established by 105 ILCS 5/13A of the Illinois School Code for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year, the 2026-2027 school year, and the first quarter of the 2027-2028 school year for violation of Board Policy 7:190, specifically engaging in any kind of aggressive behavior that does physical or psychological harm to a staff, person, or other student. Prohibited conduct specifically includes, without limitation, any use of violence, intimidation, force, noise, coercion, threats, or other comparable conduct, and engaging in any activity on or off campus that interferes with, disrupts, or adversely affects the school environment, school operations, or an educational function, including but not limited to conduct that may reasonably be considered to endanger the health or safety of students, staff, or school property. Is there a motion for the approval of student discipline case number 1?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
McKinley, aye. Amelia,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item 15.10, resolution to designate outside legal services. Is there a motion for the approval of the resolution to designate outside legal services?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Amelia,
Aye.
McKinley, aye. Lindmark,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, and item 16 has been removed. So that brings us to item 18, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Amelia,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Lindmark,
Aye.
Zettler, McKinley, aye. Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.